例えばあの男、若いダテラに大盗賊を率き、伊予の山奥に賊の村を作り上げた豪傑。あの女は昨年の詐欺場城侵入騒動の下手人、城内の家臣を一人残らず制圧した𝐒𝐻𝐻。
So, episode number 2 of Hell's Paradise, and I was really wondering how they were going to follow up that excellent showing of episode 1. Like, I mean, episode 1, incredible, introducing us to Gabimaru, introducing us to the 𝐒𝐚𝐚, 𝐒𝐚𝐚 the Decapitator. How are they going to follow up episode number 1? And come to find out that episode number 2, it's what I would call, and I always kind of dub these, and I don't know if anybody else does in my industry, but I would dub this as like a transitional episode. And what that means is this episode is it exists to get us to the next episode, because when I say that is not a whole lot happened this episode, but what happened was still really relatively important to getting us to the next point in the story. What this episode did and set out to do was introduce us to the 10 main characters that we're going to be able to see as we transition into the paradise, Hell's Paradise, the island. And really, the moment all of the villains or all of the criminals were introduced, you could have really picked all who's wearing color. You could easily pick out who are going to be the characters that are going to make it, just simply telling by design. It's like you have like mob, bandit, really, really cool looking shinobi girl, mob, bandit, girl smoking peace pipe with some really cool garbs, mob, bandit, 12'9" dude who looks like a beast. You can kind of pick out who's going to make it or not. And if you did that, kind of like I did, then you probably guessed who it was. And at the end of the episode, we find out the 10 who were there. And yeah, basically anybody who was wearing anything with color or who had a crazy design were the ones who ended up making it. And out of the criminals, there are some really interesting criminals that are coming. One being a shinobi herself, which I'm really interested in. One being a court person who apparently she used to eat people, and one being a looks like he used to be a really like strong swordsman of some sort. So interesting characters that they introduced to us. And then also the episode ends with them actually getting to the island finally, and Gabimaru kind of like seeing, okay, here's what the island is finally introducing to us. But outside of that, not a whole lot happened. So what ended up happening is we find out that and I really wish I knew her name a little better, but 𝐒𝐚𝐚, I guess they're all just Yamada 𝐒𝐚𝐚s. But the girl who's assigned to our main character, Gabimaru, we got to learn a little bit more about her backstory. And we got to find out Sagiri. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to refer to her as Sagiri because that's her name now. So Sagiri. We find out that Sagiri, at some point in her childhood witnessed her father handle a blade without fear, as she describes it. And he was decapitating somebody, and he did it so flawlessly and so beautifully that that's kind of been her goal from a while. We also got to learn that in her current state, there is a lot of fear that drives her blade. And a lot of it is because she feels like the weight of not being able to meet the expectations, not being able to kill without, like, just kill to kill. Like she feels like she needs like a reason to. And by the end of the episode, based on Gabimaru's lesson to her about killing and, that it's never right, but if you have to, who cares if it's beautiful, kind of gets her to wake up to the fact that you don't have to, you don't have to break through to hate somebody to do it. But you just need to be able to kind of carry the burden to be able to do it whether you have to or not. Or like, when you have to, right? So I just thought it was a good lesson. So it was a good lesson, and it was good for us to learn more about her backstory and everything that's going to motivate her. What this tells me is that she, Sagiri, is at the end of this, she's just going to end up getting closer. Whether she wants to or not, she's going to end up getting closer to Gabimaru. And, right now she says, I'll be able to kill him. I will be able to kill him. I don't think she's going to be able to. I think she's going to get inevitably really close to Gabimaru. whether she wants to or not. And I can see several different instances to where maybe even he saves her at certain points. And he's going to have to, because apparently whoever your assigned person is on the island, whatever your assigned person is, has to return with you to be able to get back on the boat. Another good question that one of the criminals posed as well is like, what if there is no elixir? The person in charge couldn't answer that question. So really, this episode came and it introduced us to a more backstory for Sagiri. It introduced us to the 10 criminals that are going to be going to the island. It had really good sakuga based on, Gabimaru kind of just killing a whole bunch of people and then people killing each other. And then it introduces to kind of maybe like some plot lines that we're going to see going forward with Sagiri and Gabimaru getting closer, and then us learning more about the other very interesting criminals as well. So episode number 2 was pretty good, but definitely what I would call a transitional episode. This episode and the things that happened here are just kind of like a jump off point to get us to the next thing that's going to happen, which is arriving on the island finally, and everything is going to come from and within that. So let me know what you guys thought about episode number 2. With episode 2, let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Let me know all your thoughts there. If you have anything to say, as always, put it in emoji. Just let me know you're here. Appreciate that. Leave a like. Of course, subscribe if you're not already. Check out the videos on screen now, but we'll see you for more spring anime as the spring anime season unfolds and rolls out. All right. Peace out.